There is a crowd that is building in anticipation for a conversation that we're lucky enough to have every single Tuesday. This started last season. We would chit chat. It was the COVID year. There was no crowd, but this man would go on to win the MVP, and we got a chance to ride alongside him every step of the way. Back for season 2 has been nothing short of spectacular, including a book club being made and leading a team to the number 1 overall rankings in basically everybody's NFL power rankings after 12 weeks of NFL football. Ladies and gentlemen, the man with 9 toes, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah!
Whoa. Is that a 12-year-old? Whoa, holy shit.
I have 10 toes.
Wow, 9.5, I guess.
Prove it.
You want a toe?
Hold on, you cut out right there. You said something great because you look awesome right now. I'm sure you're excited for the debut of the clean shave. You look 7 to 10 years younger. You look fantastic, pal, even though your toes all busted up.
Look, I got a birthday coming up, and I'd rather look closer to my age than about 10 years older than I look. I mean, just look at AJ, right?
I mean, just look at AJ. AJ with that home plate face looks like he could run his head into anything. Let's dive in to your state of mind here going into a bye week. Perfect timing for the bye week, right? Especially with this toe. The team gets some more pieces back. They're talking Takatari in December. Jair, everybody could be coming. This is a perfect time for the Green Bay Packers to feel better. Where are you at mentally, physically, and how will you spend the bye week?
I thought we were the last bye week, and then I realized that there's 4 other teams that have to play another game, which is unbelievable. I mean, it's tough enough to play 12 and then have a bye, and you have 4 other teams playing 13 and then a bye. And that may need to get looked at some point because that's a long stretch of football to play without any type of break. But yeah, I think we've been dealing with as many injuries as we've had over the years, for sure. A lot of important players, starters on IR, some no chance to return, some with a chance. Takatari obviously has an opportunity. Not sure when that will be. Jair, hoping him. Zadarius, who knows? Josh Myers up in the air. So there's a lot of those, and then you have the weekly injuries that we've had with Kevin King being hurt, and Aaron Jones dealing with his injury, and he played a little bit last week. So it definitely comes at a good time. The bye, we say that the bye always comes at a good time, but for us to be 9-3 sitting here, not many people probably expected that. Looking at our schedule, and definitely with what we've dealt with this year, with Devontae being out for COVID, and Marquez missed so much time, and all the injuries up front on the defensive side of the ball, to be 9-3 feels pretty good.
So how's the toe feel, though? Like, as the game went, did it feel like you thought it would? You looked early like you were bouncing around. We obviously know you want me to get to your touchdown run and everything. I don't know if that was – it didn't look like a designed read. It looked like you were pulling that, and you were becoming a solo soldier, as one of your old coaches used to say, and it worked out. So credit to you. But later it looked like you may be limping a little bit. Did whatever they juiced you up with wear off a little bit?
It would definitely wear it off a little bit. I also got stepped on at one point, which
I'd be foot stomping you all day if I was playing against you.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like that we do know what's hurt and how it's hurt. I guess the other team could do that, right? I mean, that's a target.
I don't know. You and Brady Papinga are pretty good at clotheslining people, but I don't remember a lot of foot stomps you did besides, your other antics on the field, flipping people off and the back kids the way you did. But overall, as compared this Monday to the last Monday, I definitely felt better, and same with this Tuesday to last Tuesday. So, I'll just keep getting treatment. We're hoping to avoid surgery, obviously, but the surgery would be such a minor one. It wouldn't be something that I'd have to miss time with. That's a prereq for any surgery that I have. At this point, I'm not going to miss any time. So we'll kind of reassess early next week and make a decision. But it's not something where I could have surgery, on a Monday or Tuesday and play on Sunday.
Oh, so we still might get surgery, it sounds like, because it was a report you were going to get surgery. Then the report was like, no, he's not going to get surgery. There is still a chance you're going to get surgery on the toe.
Yeah, look, again, with these reports, I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who's talking. It seems like there's certain coaches that may have friends in the media that they don't realize are actually just trying to report things on.
Guys
But
on your own on the Green Bay staff, you're saying?
oh yeah, Age, you've known about that. There were guys for a while who had their people they would leak stuff to.
Oh, can't have it, Aaron. Can't have it. Can't have it. But you think that's potentially what's happening? Somebody maybe got word that there was a potential surgery, and then somebody else was like, well, he's not having it right now, and that's why it's potentially getting reported. And the fact that you might still get it on like Monday and still be able to play is, I assume the follow-up would be, why not do it now? Is there something that can happen between now and Monday to find out if you can't do surgery, like a healing process that's already naturally happening?
Well, look, when you the surgery would immobilize the toe, and so then there's that would be an issue the entire season I would deal with. Now it would avoid any further displacement, but it would immobilize the toe. So we're hoping that with a couple weeks here we can get enough healing that maybe we can avoid doing that. Now we'll reassess. Like I said, probably later this week and early next week. But the ultimate goal to not have to do surgery. This thing heals up a little bit better, and you kind of make it through a few more weeks, and maybe it doesn't bother you late the last few weeks of the season.
It doesn't seem like it was bothering you much during the game. Now, granted, there was the moments where you came up a little bit lame and the gait was a little bit, as if you were limping, but everybody's seen it, and I'll get to it since AJ didn't want to. I mean, that was fucking beautiful. I mean, the RPO on an island with Jalen Ramsey, one of the best athletes in the NFL, one of the best football players in the NFL. Give him a fake, because he has no idea what's happening. The classic on the run, pump fake, get him in the air. You see pay dirt make a play. He gets whipped by his own momentum, and then a photo is generated that is iconic and will be used for a long, long time, and I would assume should go up in your house somewhere. Let's talk about that, how you're feeling about the athleticism with a birthday coming up on Thursday, and also against Jalen in specific. You were 7 for 7 against him. Do you know that when you're going into a game, and is that something you think about?
No, I mean he's a great player. It's not like you have to be wary about certain routes that you throw on his side, because he'll bait you into throwing certain things and sit on routes from time to time, and there is a little bit of a guessing game. But it also depends on the guy who's over there on his side. We had a good plan with trying to get the ball out quickly, and we're going up against two very probable Hall of Famers and a stud and two other studs, Floyd and Ashawn in their 4-man front there. We didn't want to hold on to the ball a whole lot, so we had to do some quick game and some chipping on the edges to get those guys comfortable. And felt like the ball was coming out pretty good on time, and we didn't have any sacks really. We had a phantom kind of 0-yard, when I got tripped up there. So the line I thought played really well, and that was the plan. But on that play, on the touchdown run, that was not the design play, not at all. The play was either hand the ball off or throw it to the left side to Tay in the flat. And the pre-snap was there was 4 over 3 on the left side after the motion. Yes. And so I kind of was off of that already. And as the snap was coming, all I saw was Aaron Donald kind of looking like he was splitting the double team. And for whatever reason, I just pulled it, and the whole right sideline collapsed. And just thought, okay, well, now I got to run this one in. And as I moved out, obviously it was me and a far superior athlete on the edge. But in moments like that, you have to use whatever skill set you got. For me, it's kind of my brain and the old pump fake. There was nobody over there. Not that he would have known that. I mean, there could have been a tight end kind of sneaking back out or the back or whatever. But the pump fake was just enough to hold him back there. And the spike wasn't as good as I want it to be. We have kind of a rule on spikes. The ball has to exit the screen, in the film. The ball exited the field and made somebody in the front row pretty happy with a nice souvenir there. So I feel like that kind of made up for the fact that it wasn't one of those great spikes where the ball kind of goes straight up in the air.
How do you grip it? Like this? Is this how you're spike? Because you're trying to land that thing flat, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to land that thing flat as possible, right?
I was trying to have my hand kind of on the meat of the ball, but I just must have missed it because it kind of bounced off to the right.
Terrible spike. Pretty athletic play, though. Go ahead, AJ.
Hey, were you expecting Jalen Ramsey to travel and to cover Devontae, or do they not normally do that? He looked like he was frustrated at times when they're playing zone. All of a sudden, Devontae motions to the other side.
Yeah, he did. He's been playing a lot of nickel actually for them, probably because he's such a great player, and you can maybe at times lose. Him in games if he's playing outside and the team's just going to ignore that side of the field. So he started playing inside more, and he's a really good blitzer, and he can cover, in inside or outside. But with Devontae, he was doing some traveling, but he wouldn't sometimes travel on motion from one side to the other. And then on the big throw that we hit Devontae on, the 43-yarder on third down, we motioned to tight end outside from backside 2 to frontside 1.
Of course.
And initially, Jalen was lined up on Devontae. Then he bumped out to guard Josiah, and that's when I kind of stepped up in the pocket and hit him down the sidelines. He's a great player, and
Hey, that's why you motioned a tight end out to 1, though, right? So then you wasted your best corner on a tight end.
And 1 means furthest outside, right?
yeah, outside in. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
So you saw that and you instantly like, okay, Devontae knows, I know, like this is what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, Devon, again, and that was a little bit of an ad lib on his part. I came back and said, how come you ran that route? And he said, I just felt good about the matchup. So if you watch it back, and that's the beauty in the game, because you wouldn't always necessarily know that unless I told you that little anecdote. And I love it too. And it actually kind of messed me up on the last offensive play of the game that we had, because we had a similar play call. And this time he decided to run a slant. And I said, "Why'd you do it on that one?" He goes, "I just felt like that was the best option." So I tell you, I trust him. So much, and him and I have such a great unspoken chemistry on the field, and we even did a couple other little things in the game that are really cool that we've been working on and practicing off of some of the things that we did. But
how long has he just been choosing his own routes in his head against somebody? Has that been something that obviously doesn't start immediately, but has that been happening for some time? Excuse me. So sorry to interrupt. Hey! Did you know at the age of 30, your testosterone levels start dropping 1% per year? Wow! That means you're gonna get fatter, more tired, and lose the strength that you once had. But no worries, our friends at Roman have the perfect product for you, so you can get back to banging weights, banging humans, and living your best life. $15 off right now. Get Roman.com/USA. Back to the action. Hey!
I mean, he has a lot of freedom, which he should, because he's got such a great release pattern, and he's such a smart guy. It's not like he's going outside maybe of schematic things, but he's making decisions that might not be the expected initial kind of paper football decision, like when you're looking at it on paper, which is why I always say there's like kind of a paper offense and an on-the-field offense. There's like paper routes for Devontae, and then like when he's on the field, do whatever you want. And he did it last week against Minnesota on the second touchdown. He kind of ad-libbed that route, and that's why I was a little bit late getting to it when Everson drilled me. But that's exactly what you want, because he totally froze the guy and scored a touchdown. Same thing on the big play on that third down the other night.
So it's impossible to watch film then, right? Because then you don't really know what's coming. And how do you have to deal with it? You just have to be patient too and see what he's doing, or do you normally have a pretty good sense beforehand? You're on the same page.
I would say normally I have a pretty good sense. You just got to read. You got to read body movements, and then also the conversations that we have are very high level when it comes to those situations. So even before the game, I remember walking over to him and saying, "Hey, in this motion, I'm going to give you this, and then it's going to be this, just for that play." And the guys that I've really gelled with over the years, they expect those conversations. They know that I'm going to walk over at some point, during my preparation before the game, as I'm doing my last looks at the at the plan or at the wristband, and say, "Hey, if this play comes in and this specific situation, and I give you this specific signal, number, look, I want you to run this specific route. And the guys that I've had the best rapport with, I think they probably love those because they know it might show up, and if it probably shows up, it's probably going to be a good situation. And then the flip side of that is when you got a receiver who can tell you, hey, if I get this look or this matchup with this specific play call in this specific scenario, I'm going to do X. I'm like, man, I can't wait. I hope that happens.
Yeah, you just try to remember it, I guess. A.J. Dillon, I'm sorry, A.J. Hawk here. A.J. Dillon and you's relationship seems to be blossoming like in a fantastic. He's becoming like a dude. And Aaron Jones, obviously a little bit injured. He's obviously always going to have a part in the offense. But A.J. Dillon, he's posting about you on his Instagram.
Hell yeah.
You're finding him in the pass game. He's making some good catches, I think. He's running people over with that offensive line. It's nice to see that relationship build, I think.
Yeah, he's getting a nickname too. He's the mayor of Door County or something. He got the key to up in Door. You know where Door County is?
Dork County?
I do.
Door County, D-O-O-R.
Oh my God!
Dork County.
I thought so.
If you look at your hand, right? It's your left hand is Wisconsin, and the thumb is Door County. So as I'm looking at the camera here, so the thumb, I can't even flip it here. Here we go.
Nailed it.
Too late. But the thumb is Door County.
Use your toes. Show us with your toes.
Yeah, sure.
Let me get my toes out here again. That was awesome.
Why'd you feel the need to do that?
Did you see Billy Turner get his toes out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Solid.
AJ though, man, what a great kid. He's again, the off the field stuff is very settled. He's engaged. He's he worked really hard, I think, on the mental part this off season, and then the physical part has been just really fun to watch. Him running behind his pads and using his weight. He had a run late in the game. He had a nice cut in the hole, and then it's him at 24, and he just and he didn't. It wasn't like he even had a huge lead up. He just and I'm in the background going, it was one of those awesome moments to watch. But the thing I love the most is his personality coming out in the games and him, cracking jokes in the shotgun. You love it, or him, trying to mess with me from time to time. Out on the field. I enjoy that. It's fun seeing his personality come out. He's a really, really good-hearted guy, and he's done a great job for us. He really has. He really has played well for us and been very consistent in the passing game. I was talking. We were watching the film yesterday, and I mentioned to Maddie we were watching a play where had kind of a full field read, and I threw it out in the flat to him, and he's got like 6 yards of separation, 2nd and 7, and he makes the first guy miss. And then he just lowers his head and gets, and splits 2 guys and gets 8 yards on his first down. And it's kind of a throwaway play if you're watching on TV. Oh, he just threw a flat route and a guy, ran into some people. But those are the type of winning football plays that he's been making over and over. We got a 2nd and 1, on a different drive, getting down towards the red zone. And, he just, puts his head down in there and gets 2 hard yards and moves the chains. These are the type of consistent winning football plays he's been making for us that have, allowed us to be a little bit more explosive, especially the last couple of weeks.
Well, he's an absolute load. Like, you can tell he wears on people, and that was Taylor Rapp, the safety. I felt bad for him, trying to come up and make that tackle. Like, good luck. That's a tough situation. But your cadence.
How are you supposed to tackle him? How are you supposed to tackle him?
You can't.
You know what I mean?
You got to hope he trips over your body, basically, when he's right there in the hole.
Those thighs and those knees just because you go
on
high.
the sideline. Doesn't he scare you when you see him on the sideline? I'm like, all right, who is going to come and take this guy on? Because you might die.
He's a fridge. He's an actual fridge running out there. It's unbelievable. It's incredible to watch. And he's been getting more active in the entire offense. It's been kind of sweet. And by the way, Connor tackled him one time.
That's right.
Woo! Attaboy, Connor.
Big win.
Attaboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a statement was made that day that
Message sent and hit, Pat.
AJ said, I ain't never getting tackled again. And he has been tough to tackle ever since that day. I mean, he was 12, you were 20, but that's the way things are going to go. Go ahead, AJ.
That was a great hit out of bounds, probably late.
Late 15-yarder. You're an adult. You can vote and smoke cigs. This guy literally Still 13 years old, but yeah, you're right. It was a big time hit. Hey, you did it.
He remembered it.
He's in the NFL now.
He said that.
Yeah.
He still remembers.
He definitely still haunts him. He wakes up at night, I'm sure. He can't get over that one. But, Aaron, your cadence is a weapon. We know that. We've spoke about it on the show before. You had an early third down where your cadence got their guys a little bit back on their heels so they couldn't get off. Like, that's a huge thing people probably don't talk about a whole lot. They can't just pin their ears back and go because they're so scared of you getting them to drawing them off sides. Your cadence, is there any, like if you said, all right, guys, this is on 3, what in the hell does that sound like?
Yeah, and they snapped
when
one.
the ball is snapped, like, I don't understand it. Is there anything you can tell us about it?
AJ, I'm sorry, I don't want to, because this is a great fucking question, journalist, because they snapped one and you gave a cadence after the ball was snapped, but everybody was moving at one point, and it was, I think that was the most fascinating. I think that's
how do young guys get that? How do young guys all of a sudden like, okay, because normally like it just doesn't seem normal to me.
It's not. It's a rhythmic cadence that doesn't have a normal snap point, and I think that's the beauty in it. You know, you grow up or you're playing in the street or at the local field, and you know the snap count's always on like hut, right? It's like set, hut, false snap. You know, that's not the way we do it. You know, there's different snap points for us. We've obviously expanded all the different things that we can do. You know, it's color number in our system, and we can switch up the snap count on the first color and the second color and the third color and the fourth color and the sixth color. And then we can do it on the first hut, second hut, third hut, quick count. I was happy, you know, we had some cadences that I haven't done in a while. We had a late in the snap count quick cadence. We had a multiple on 3s in the game. We had an on 2. We had first color, second color, third color, you know, first sound plays. And, you know, we're not drawing a ton of people off sides, maybe like we were for a time, whereas like you seem like every single game we had 1 or 2. But it's definitely a weapon because you can't just tee off on what we're doing up front. And, you know, we're going to keep using that as long as I'm here.
Green 19, right, is what you say? Because it sounded like DMT. I thought you said DMT one time just to troll. I was like, this dude put his foot up as his Twitter avatar, and he used DMT as a cadence. But it's Green 19. I actually rewound it. My wife and I were like, did he just fucking say DMT? He might have. Yeah, let's rewind this. We listened back. You did not.
Were you on some DMT when you were watching that, questioning? You and your wife both were like, wait a second.
Wait a minute. No,
Run that.
We weren't on the DMT, okay? We weren't taking deep dives into our soul, but we were on vitamins T, H, and C right there. And we did think it was potentially happening. Let's talk, and I think AJ wanted to bring it up. You lifting your foot and showing people what it was, and then now you put it as your Twitter avatar. One of the greatest moves I've seen on the internet. Yeah. One of the greatest moves I've seen. I was so pumped about it. I don't know if you saw my tweet about when I found, it wasn't until hours after you did it that I found out that you did that, and I just seen it. I was like, oh, this guy is fucking awesome. But how did you get to that point? You were sick of the Wall Street Journal, I guess, wrote an article. I get tagged in everything that happens in your life. The Wall Street Journal wrote an article about it, and there was headlines talking about how you said it, and it was like the perfect example of what you've said a lot where, you know, people don't really listen to the context or the conversation at all. They just get some words on paper and then they run with it. And you've talked about this for a long time with how you've been covered. You were clearly joking, clearly. I mean, it was, and you can't get to the point where you're a robot and you don't joke about anything. But with how big that thing ran, did you just get fed up and that's why you decided to give all the foot fetish people dream come true there right on that Zoom call? Or how did you get to that point, you think?
Yeah, I think Rex Ryan probably enjoyed it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Still one of the best.
Rex, you're a good guy, Rex.
Still one of the funniest conversations or press conferences was when Wes Welker did it. You know, he said foot or feet, you know, like 15 times. Oh, man. What a funny guy that guy is. But
a straight face the whole time.
Straight-faced, I know. That was amazing. Look, you know, here's my issue with the whole thing, and I'll precursor it by saying this. Andrew, who wrote the article from the Wall Street Journal, reached out to the Packers with his number. They forwarded that to me, and I called him, and had a very respectful conversation. Was interested to hear his reasoning. And had a good conversation. So I respect the fact that he got on the phone there was no official apology from the Wall Street Journal or really much of a recanting of the story. There's an adjustment of the title to the article, but my thing was this: you and I and Age and the boys have a great rapport. We have a lot of laughs on this show. I think it's pretty obvious if you're watching the show live, which so many people do, or watching it back on YouTube, or all the different clips that the boys put up on social media. Pretty obvious when I'm joking and when I'm serious. And I clearly stated, and it was posted on there, that it says worse than turf toe, so it's obviously a bone issue.
Yes.
Now, you made a joke about COVID toe, and then I repeated that, and that's all the Wall Street Journal wanted to say. Hey, you said COVID toe. I'm like, well, me and 98% of the population, maybe more, until this article, had no idea what COVID toe was, an actual thing, okay? Yeah. So with apologies to anyone who's been afflicted with COVID toe, like, I had no idea that was even something that could happen, right?
Me neither, by the way. Me neither. I had no idea what it was, but I learned. It was trending. It was trending.
Yeah. So again, the other thing, two other points. One, I'm pretty sure that whether they watch it live or watch it back or watch the clips, there are numerous members of the media, both our local beat writers, because I think some of them live tweet or live social media this show from time to time, and national media members who watch the show. Not one of those people who have seen me and covered my career for a long time, not one of those people wrote an article that I had this condition called COVID toe, right? Not one person who didn't cover me forever. And if they had a question about it, what they would have done probably was call the Packers and talk to either Tom Fanning or Jason Wallers, Sarah Quick, Nate Lacasio, somebody, and just said, hey, off the record, does Rodgers have COVID toe? And I'm probably pretty sure they would have said, I don't know what you're talking about. What is COVID toe? So you have zero beat writers, zero national media writing an article. You have the Wall Street Journal being opportunistic because of my non-vaccinated status, and I've been in the news, and trying to write this article. That's my opinion. The second part is I called out an individual who didn't write the article, but that's the text that I saw from all the people in the morning, and that's how I actually even saw the article. This person proceeded to, take a couple, pretty good shots at me about, my own mental status and intelligence and personal decisions. Definitely not without blame. And then went on to delete the tweets later and, write a very, self-affirming message about, her workout status and donating to her, her charity, which sounds like it's a phenomenal charity, but you are not blameless either. You tried to be opportunistic as well and jump on this train and slam me as well. So, look, you didn't write the article, but you decided to quote yourself in a tweet as well.
Who? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Have you said the name yet publicly? Is it out?
No. Yeah, I said her name. But again, let me just wrap this up. They wrote an article that was totally false, based on two words that I said back to back that you said as well, even though I said, also it was a bone issue. And I was talking with Tom before press conference. He said, "You got an answer?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna pull my toe out." He said, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." So literally, you can hear me as I walk in. I'm like, I don't know if there's gonna be enough room to get my foot out. Here as I'm sitting down in the, in the Zoom room, and Rob Demoski asked me the first question, and we just kind of went down the line from there. When it comes to memes, though, you either embrace them or they never go away. And most of them probably don't ever go away anyway. So that's why the first one that happened, I've been memed like crazy this year. Hey, you just got to embrace them. I got my chin strap up here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the background of my Twitter now. And, the Twitter doesn't allow you enough space there for the other picture, but I got my toes in there for the other picture.
Yeah, you did. You made it work. Thank you for that. AJ, go ahead.
Yeah. So what do you think happens now if Tom Fanning or Jason, before your next meeting with the media, they say, hey, there's a report out there. Someone just slandered you and said you have hemorrhoids. They may be worried about what might happen in that next meeting.
Are you going to address it the same fashion? I think is what AJ's asking. Is that what you're asking, AJ?
Do you want me to float it out there so you could do that?
Jesus. He's the worst. You're the absolute worst. He's a journalist, though. Hey, journalist of the year.
That's right.
Journalist of the year.
I saw a lot of people asking about that.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody, but I guess that's what you can do nowadays. A source said, if you saw it somewhere on Twitter, which could be your own burner saying it, saw it on the internet and then say something, is always something that can happen, which is the world we're in, and you are the target of a lot of this conversation because you are the current MVP and your team is number one in the NFL right now, dude. Hell yeah! Hey, you guys are number one, bro. Number one, man. Could you imagine when you were jumping off those waterfalls and all the things that were being said in the offseason? You guys would be number one in the NFL after 12 weeks. Could you imagine that, Aaron?
I could, but that's without going through the 12 weeks that we've had. I mean, it hasn't been a quiet 12 weeks. So I'm very happy with where we're at. Very happy to, have gotten off to the start that we got off to. And happy that we've faced some adversity and we're moving through it or, close to the other side of some of it.
I don't know. Omicron, dude.
Oh,
Omicron, bro. All right, anyways, go ahead, Ty.
Aaron, you told us last week about when, the long sleeves come out, when the turtleneck comes out. You guys were somehow underdogs, but anyone in the know knew. I mean, you had it on pregame. I was like, all right, ball game, we're gonna win. But I said on Monday, it felt like watching it that it was like a playoff game. Do you ever get that mentality going to these? I mean, obviously you know how good you guys are, so every game is kind of whatever. But does it ever you get that heightened sense oh, okay, this is kind of like a playoff atmosphere, and you get a little more juice?
Oh yeah, I mean, especially November, December football at Lambeau. There's just, you feel it. It's a playoff atmosphere. These are the games that define the season, and it was an important one for us. Haven't been home underdogs in a while. It seems like.
That's a joke.
So, that was obviously something that some of us knew about, But yeah, playing a really good football team, coming off a bye, coming off a couple losses. We were going to get their best shot. We're coming off an L with the division tightening up, a lot of playoff implications on the line. I will say this, and I'm not just saying this because I like you, Ty, but I got to my locker. I got to the stadium early to get some treatment and do kind of the same routine every time. Put my jersey on my pads, put my leg pads in. And I looked at Tim Odie puts a stack of kind of the clothes for the day in my locker, and it was my tights and a long sleeve and, a little, half sleeve hat thing I wear to try and keep my hair back. And then the turtleneck was in there.
Hell yeah.
And I said, Ty's going to like this.
Let's go.
That's awesome. Did you see his tweet as soon as there was a photo of you wearing that thing? He literally tweeted out,
ball game.
He's in the fucking turtleneck. Yeah. It is ball game. It's real, though. It is something that, and you've addressed it. The cold weather gives you a little twinkle in your eye. It doesn't affect you at all, it seems like. Now, obviously, I don't think you were perfect, but it did affect Stafford out of there. Do you think that's just because the defense is growing so much there in Green Bay, or what do you think it potentially was? And why do you know, and I guess that was a perfect depiction, home field advantage in the playoffs is
massive
with Lambeau. Is that potentially what got LA as well, you think?
Well, I don't know about that. I think that they had some turnovers on offense that got us going. And then we put together some pretty solid drives, but they still scored a lot of points. Matt has never had a problem with Cole. I remember in 2011 when the other Matt was playing for us, Matt Flynn, started and played in week 17. And he threw for 480 and 6 touchdowns, our Matt Flynn. People forget that Matt Stafford set the record that day for Lambeau Field. He threw for over 500 yards. And I think he had 5 touchdowns. And we won 45-41. It was a wild game. But so I don't think Matt was definitely necessarily affected by the cold at all. I mean, he still had I think 3 touchdown passes, but the cold is definitely an equalizer. I think it equalizes the playing surface. You see way more guys slipping on Lambeau Field in November, December, January. You see the ball sometimes a little harder to throw. The wind is a factor. Kickoffs. It feels like maybe the kicking ball might get a little slippery, a little more slippery.
Hey, that ball was coming out. That ball was coming out a lot.
Yeah, right. So it is a great equalizer. It's been good for us over the years. Obviously, it didn't work out last year in the NFC Championship, but hopefully we'd love another opportunity at that.
And I know that you're on your bye week. You got things you got to do. Do you have to get tested every day? No, because you had COVID already, right?
I still am on like maybe 69, 70 days.
Hey, congrats.
No,
There we go.
between 68 and 70, I think.
Somewhere. Like your throw distance, yeah. Well, enjoy the hell out of your bye week, man. We got you something.
You got me something, but I'm not going to get it.
Well, I mean, we'll enjoy it for you because you probably can't eat it because you don't eat milk or whatever. You got a birthday coming up, right?
I do. 38 big ones. Is there 38 candles on there?
Well, there's only going to be 2 that's lit because there's a lot of fucking candles. There's no way I'm lighting all those things. But happy birthday, dude. We definitely knew your birthday was coming up before you said it and didn't order this cake during this conversation and got it here because we are a great group of people and friends of yours. We appreciate you so much, man. We'll ship you this cake. Would you like to give us a speech of anything you've learned here in your last 38 trips around the sun, pal?
Oh man, it was a really interesting year for me. A lot of great growth. I think in general, I definitely learned over the last year who my people are and who my people aren't, and I'm thankful for all those people who are my people and have been so encouraging and supportive throughout the year, especially during the football season, and so thankful to have people, come out to the games and support me, and it's always fun to have guests during the season. That's what you missed the most, I think, during the COVID year was not seeing those regular people. Brian Bumgarner was one of them that came out to the game this week and sang, and his birthday was actually yesterday.
Hey, happy birthday! Happy birthday! Couple candles for you too, pal.
But life is all about relationships and cultivating the ones that I think bring you that life and that positivity and that joy. And I'm just thankful for those people who continue to show up for me and encourage me and hold me accountable and breathe life and happiness and joy into my daily walk around this planet. I'm thankful for all you guys and for this weekly Tuesday thing we do, and thankful for another year around the sun.
Well, we're thankful for you too, man. Happy birthday to
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aaron. Happy birthday to you.
Make a wish, dude. Make a wish, dude. Go ahead. Yeah, great work. That was incredible, man. Happy birthday,
Still
dude.
got it.
And I know, I assume the book club also go on a bye week here so we can catch up with the 17,000 pages you gave over the last 2 weeks of the book club, yeah?
Yes, and I actually, that's my main goal. I've been gifted. I do want to say thank you to all the people that sent books, sent books out to the stadium. There's been so many that I've gotten. No way I can even get to them with the stack that I've got. And also, a good friend of mine, Joey, just gave me a bunch of books to read. So I am going to get on a couple books this week and hopefully get to read them. And the book club will be back and better than ever next week.
Well, we appreciate you, man. I'm going to read all these books once again, I think. I'm going to read them again.
Hell yeah.
How about you, AJ? You think about going through all of them? You remember back when the Outliers was the weekly reading? That was such a fun.
Self-scout. We got to self-scout and reread them.
Yeah, and not just self-scout and reread them, but maybe, get excited for the the big push ahead.
Yeah.
That's right.
Into the playoff book club. Oh shit! Those books are gonna have to be awesome. Enjoy your bye week. Go ahead. You told me earlier this is going to be the day you were going to sing our song, so I appreciate it, and that's how we'll send this whole thing off. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah! Oh, come on! Didn't get a goddamn strum.
What was
He
that?
didn't even flirt with it.
Probably hurt his fingers.
Oh yeah, you
Can't
got a pinky
play.
problem already. Need not to do that to the old finger tipskis.
Rest up, yeah.
That was fun, man. That was a good combo.
It was.
Hey, good journalism, I think, out of us. We asked some real questions.
Oh yeah.
Had to do it.
Even the hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids was a real question. I saw one person put that out there.
Yeah, I saw that report.
Do you remember I think AJ even went like this for me for that one.
Yeah. Need one. Need one here.
You're right. It hit me when he said something when Tom asked him what he's going to do. He's like, "I'm gonna pull my toe out." So I was like, "Oh, of course, hemorrhoids." Yeah.
Man, I got so excited. I don't think you understand how excited I got. You know, like whatever that happened, I'm like, oh, here we go. I got pumped. Thank you for Aaron for his time. Happy birthday to him. I hope he enjoys his bye week.